Hey, and welcome back to the Girl Boss Method. So, today's topic, we are going to talk about Christmas themed stuff again. So, how to make the best out of this week and carry that momentum through. So, today, just for clarity, it's the 16th of December, which means that we are exactly 1 week out from Christmas week. So yes, Christmas is on the Wednesday next week, but we've got Christmas Eve, Tuesday, and then for some people, they might also kind of make a bit of a thing out of Christmas Eve's Eve. It just seems to be all these additional days around that week anyway. So also, this could also coincide with the weekend, right? If you've got other things going on at the weekend as well. But I want us to kind of think, with today being Monday the 16th, we've still got a nice clear week, a clear runway until that point. Now, again, you might have social events or meetups and maybe even just like absolutely crazy at work with just trying to get as much tied up as possible. But I want us to kind of think about this week almost being like setting the center stage in terms of January, because we know that Christmas week comes, things will be a little bit different. And then we have Twixmas, which is that bit in between, that weird bit in between Christmas and New Year's. So, really, right now is probably the closest that we're going to get to normality until January the 6th, when everything, like, that's the first Monday back to normal. So I thought we would rename this week Win Week. So the girls today, we inside the group, we kind of shared some of our weekly commitments and stuff that we want to kind of work through this week. And it got me thinking about how, again, this week we want to keep pushing towards our goals, but I think it can be a bit of a drag, especially if you're kind of thinking, well, what's the point of pushing? Oh, Christmas is only a few days away. So much is going on. Like I've got no time. So I want us to kind of have a bit of a reframe with Win Week. So how do we approach Win Week? So firstly, this week matters mostly because this consistency that we're going to be working on is going to help us build confidence for starting the new year. We want to try and stay active and mindful as well. And being in this sort of mode or momentum is going to help reduce any additional festive stress as well. And I want us to think of this week as being an opportunity to win each day. So, as we know, all the small wins will compound into big results. So it's thinking back to those habits and those stackables and thinking about how we can try and achieve small things along the way to again keep carrying us through along with that momentum. So, in terms of a win action plan, is we want to set up some daily intentions. So, we'll be talking about this over the course of this week as well. But we want to pick 1 to 2 non-negotiable goals for each day. So, these are things that I know you've kind of set your intentions up, but now I want you to kind of break it down into almost like mini goals or mini daily intentions to say, do or die, I'm going to make sure I do this one thing. And now that one thing doesn't have to be something absolutely ridiculously challenging or almost like unrealistic as well. But again, thinking about these non-negotiables as things that you know that you must do regardless. Right. So one of them could be move for at least 20 minutes. Now, 20 minutes, it doesn't mean that you've got to do 20 minutes all at once, but it's daily movement each day, walk around the block, a stretch, maybe even if you're rushed for time and it's just getting started with your workout, and that's all you can do to kind of get it and squeeze it in. Hitting your protein target as well. It's really important that we try and think about that this week, because next week we know that the composition of our food will change drastically. Now, obviously, there are things that we can do to try and bank the protein earlier in the day around the meals. But I think it would be really wise for us to kind of keep that momentum this week as well. And then it's really important that you try and get that sleep in. Sleep is where the magic happens. And especially when we're thinking about hunger and satiety, when we lack sleep, we feel miserable. And you tell me, if you're listening, when you have a shit night's sleep, the next day, I don't know about you, but I know that for me, my hunger is up. My hunger is up. And so, again, with lack of sleep, you're going to be running on fumes basically. And then what about the decisions that you make? Do you have the right mind frame to even make the right decisions when it comes to fueling yourself? Are you going to be so rushed to try and get and cram things in that you're just going to be picking at food and not actually having proper meals, etc.? So just really kind of thinking about getting that sleep in. And a word on sleep as well. We know that again, this time of year can kind of set in with a bit of anxiety and stuff. Some of the steps that I want you to try and take this week is again, this can kind of tie into your non-negotiables. It's definitely something that I'm trying to work on myself. Setting a timer to stop doing whatever it is that you have been doing that evening. So whether it's work bleeding into the evening, or it's the television, or it's Netflix, or it's having a mindless scroll on Instagram, just put a timer on your phone and go, right, that is enough. I'm done with the blue light. So no more blue light. Step away from that. Start thinking about maybe even using this time to kind of create some opportunity to do a little bit of housework, tidying up at home, you know, washing the sink before you get to bed and drawing the curtains and having a tidy up. Maybe even utilizing this time to kind of plan ahead. So planning ahead, having a look at your calendar. Again, you can kind of get notepad and pen out here and go old school with this as well. I mean, if you are a Google Calendar person, make sure that that's the last thing that you do before you get away from blue light. So again, planning ahead for the week. So thinking about sort of meals you're going to have over the course of the week, when you're going to squeeze in those workouts, potential rest days that you're going to have. Again, thinking about the days that you might be socializing or out for meals. What are you going to do around those days? In between those days. And again, even when it comes to meals, it's not even to say you've plugged in everything that needs to happen. Maybe even kind of breaking it down and going, right, if you know that you have 3 meals and a snack, right? If you have 3 meals every day, then using MyFitnessPal and just plugging in the protein part and going, right, I know I'm going to have this protein source at that time, that protein source at this time, and that one at that time. And then along with that, you can start building out, again, based on what you've got in the cupboard, whether you're going to have, what veggies you're going to have. You're going to have quinoa with it, or you're going to opt for pasta. Like, what are you going to do to kind of piece or build up that picture for those meals as well? And then I just want you to think about just focus on progress, not perfection. None of us are going to be 100% right now, and you really shouldn't be. There's so much pressure from work, pressure from life, kids, sorting things out for your family. It's going to be a hectic couple of weeks, so really just try and think about being consistent with that. And that's again in terms of our win week. This is why I want us to kind of celebrate those small daily wins, even when things are not perfect and you feel like they've not gone to plan, that there is something that we're holding on to. And then just a reminder about balancing festive indulgence. If any of you have started the holidays early, or you're starting that wind down, thinking and taking it back to like the 80-20 rule again, thinking about balance here. So have a little bit of something that you like, but again, focus on your good meals. And then, as we've said, building out your plate with protein first. Protein is going to help you, with your hunger, with your energy, and it's just going to help build up and bank the protein around some of those meals that might not have much protein in, and again, might be carb and fat heavy. And hydration is massively important as well. So quite often we've all heard that cliche saying that, when you think you're hungry, it might well be that you're thirsty, but just make sure that you are keeping hydrated throughout the day. And then, yeah, mindful eating. So savor your treats, eat slowly and stop when you feel satisfied. Another thing that I want to kind of add to this is try and stay away from distractions when you are eating. If you're in conversation, take a couple of mouthfuls, put your fork down, sit, engage in conversation. Try not to shovel and talk at the same time. Just take your time. And if you are eating on your own, especially throughout this week, another tip for you is don't scroll on your phone. When you're taking your attention away from your food, you're not really being present with what you're eating and you're not really thinking about being satisfied. You're not chewing properly. Um, Mastication is the act of chewing. And I guess it has been said that, we're looking at for each mouthful, 30, 32, 33 chews per mouthful. I actually did try that once when we were in lockdown of those years ago. I actually just decided to spend a day chewing my food, and I can't tell you how full I felt. And yeah, it's because you're eating slowly, but when you are chewing, again, you're excreting, so saliva. I can't think of the actual word, but saliva stuff. The gonna, gonna laugh here, but yeah, the saliva is going to help you obviously extract digestive, the enzymes and stuff to help you kind of feel, break down the food, and also, again, are we releasing the right hormonal signals as well to try and feel fuller as well? Those signals are all really important when we are going through that act. And when you are scrolling on your phone and just mindlessly going through it, are you really being present with what you're eating? And again, if you are having foods that we might look at as being quite, indulgent or like treat, savory or sweet treats, etc. Just thinking about slowing down and actually really enjoying it. Like there's nothing worse when you're like just chomping away and you're eating something and it's all disappeared. So really just take your time. And then again, yes, stay active. It's really important that during this time we are staying active, especially during this win week. So again, thinking about those shorter sessions. And when it comes to that, whether we're dropping a set or we're just removing a couple of exercises from the back end of the workout, those are all ways of kind of shortening the actual workout as well. And then making the walking or getting out and moving, doing a stretch, etc., making those part of your sort of non-negotiable activities. And again, coming up to sort of festivities, if you like, when you are with friends, when you are with family as well, trying to get out for walks. And another one that I've been enjoying at the moment is definitely getting in and doing some early morning yoga. It's just really kind of nice to kind of feel set up for the day. So again, whether that's yoga where you're sort of moving, working on mobility, some strength, maybe even being sort of mindful and working in some meditation and stillness, those things are really going to kind of help set you up for the day and also reduce any anxiety, etc. So again, progress over perfection. So setting up our mindset for a successful win week. Don't think about missing the workout or having an indulgent meal and thinking, oh my God, I've absolutely, messed this up. One of the girls was telling me over the weekend, she feels really frustrated and disappointed with herself. The thing is, that one day or that one meal, it's not going to set you back masses. It will take you a really long, consistent process of doing that multiple days in a row for you to sort of kind of like make backwards progress in that sense. So just thinking that it's not going to mess you up, and yeah, just being consistent. That's really the main thing here, the main theme. And again, when we have got those situations where you have, hit the fuck it button and you've got a setback, just think of it as being like a learning process. It's a learning opportunity. How will I tackle this next time? Thinking about what you could have done rather than beating yourself up. Maybe there could have been something that you could have done instead. So again, those are conversations that we can have as well. And yeah, success is showing up. So small, consistent actions, no matter more than perfection. And then in terms of creating your own win week tracker, what I would like you to do is share these in the group. That would be amazing. But tracking our wins to help build the momentum, we can kind of create a little tally. So if you've got a whiteboard at home, or you've got like a journaling notebook, or you like to do things where you use the notes app in your phone, just making a few notes about how you did each day. What did you do? What were the steps that you did at the end of the day? What were the workouts that you completed? And it's like, I know that we've got these things that we can track in app, but sometimes adding it again at the end of the day might just sort of kind of ease some of that anxiety, and just kind of thinking, right, this is what I have achieved. And again, it's just that reminder, knowing that you have done the stuff, you have done the small habit stacking, you have nailed some progress there. And again, just taking each one of those wins and being proud and happy for those achievements as well. So as I've said as well, you can add this into a notebook at the end of the day, especially if you're journaling, and if you're trying to keep off your phone in the evening as well. This might be quite nice to just keep a little notepad on your bedside table with a pen. I think it's quite a nice way of jotting down ideas, maybe even thoughts as well before you go to sleep. Anything that's kind of on your mind, put it on the piece of paper, do away with it, and that's going to help you get a better night's sleep as well. And then, yeah, when we are thinking about Christmas week, next week, we do need to plan ahead as well in some ways. So definitely think about doing this Friday evening, or maybe even on Sunday morning. Reflect on your wins. So take a moment to celebrate what you have achieved this week. Plan for some flexibility. So map out where you might kind of have some movement, and again, where your meals might be around the festive week, and keeping it balanced as well. So focusing on your nourishing meals around your indulgent ones as well. And be kind to yourself. It's the season of joy. So remember, consistency over perfection. And again, just bringing it back to our community and that accountability that we're giving one another as well, is share your daily wins in the group chat. It's, great to cheer each other on. You can post challenges within there, any questions, get support from one another. And remember, you're not alone. We are all in this together. And then again, just kind of staying focused this month without the all or nothing mindset. So just remember, enjoying December without guilt. Using these tips again to kind of strike a balance between enjoying and not completely letting go, avoiding hitting the fuck it button, and just remember that small, consistent actions will add up. And we've got to think about long term as well. So the balanced approach now is going to mean less stress in January. And ultimately, you're going to feel stronger, healthier, and ready to take on that new year with the right mindset. And yeah, celebrate, focus on what you're doing right, rather than fixating on perfection. Right, that's enough for me for now. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you here next time.